The theme of this video is interesting stuff the RuneScape community is building. And this first thing I'm going to show you is not for general use, but just something that might confuse your brain and I thought was pretty interesting. Every once in a while you see something you've probably never seen before. This is one of those times. Here I'm logging into an account called Mr. RuneScape 11. The account logs in normally. Now I'm going to try to log into the same account, Mr. RuneScape 11, on this client on the left. What you should see is, this account is already logged in or something like that. But you don't. The account logs in. How is that possible? The account is logged in from two different clients at the same time. This example footage is captured on the same computer to showcase this software side by side, but it works the same way if the second client were on any computer, not just this one. Meaning someone across the world could log into your account while you're on it. It would just be very confusing to show that through a video recording. But this isn't like hacking software or anything like that. The software doesn't make it so anyone can log into your account without your permission or anything like that. Don't get too alarmed. So let's start this story from the beginning. Someone reached out to me on Discord and said they had made something they wanted to show me, a plugin he developed on a non-published version of RuneLite, which allows a player, or more appropriately players, to play on the same RuneScape account simultaneously from different clients. So again, you're playing on the account Bob123, everything looks normal, but I'm also playing on Bob123 at the same time. You click somewhere, the account moves on your screen and my screen. I changed the interface from the inventory to the prayer tab, but it doesn't change on your screen. Pretty crazy, right? We'll get into how it works and what it could be used for right after this. So this video is sponsored by another game called Smite, which is free to play. And while recording this ad, I ran out of storage on my computer from 4 hours of recordings because this game is just a lot of fun. Smite just launched a RuneScape crossover where you can become your favorite RuneScape characters in Smite. The Gnome Child, KBD, the Wise Old Man, probably a gold farmer, or a noob who used his mom's credit card. So I downloaded the game and chose the 5v5 arena option, which seemed self-explanatory, and I started to play as the Wise Old Man. I didn't know anything about the game, but basically each avatar has abilities and you try to kill the other team. And I died a lot in the first game. I ended with 5 kills and 8 deaths. Then I played as the KBD. This time 5 kills, 1 death. I learned that I could heal myself back at our base. Then I kind of realized during each game you level up as you get kills, which makes you stronger, so if you level up quickly early on, you're going to dominate the game. In my third game as the KBD, I got 17 kills and only died once. We still lost though, I haven't figured out how to win. So anyway, I play Smite now, and it's way too much fun. You can play now as your favorite RuneScape characters, and it's free to play on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Luna, and Switch. Go to smitegame.com/sirpugger to find out more. The link is in the description. So first, how this software works. There's a main player, think of them as the host, and whose client is actually interacting with the servers. The other accounts are basically just sending packets or data to that main account's client that then forwards it onto the servers. So although there's this illusion of 2 clients both logging in to the same account, really one is logged in and the other clients are just streaming data back and forth from the main client. If the session on the main client logged out, all of the sessions would be stopped. Does that make sense? What would actually be funny is if Jagex okayed a version of this plugin just to be used on one account and published the login details. See what happens, how far the account can get. It would be absolutely chaos, I'm sure, but a funny social experiment. But just to be clear, I'm 99% sure this would be against the game rules. This isn't made for people to use as much as just to admire how cool of a discovery or creation it is. And there aren't really any major ways to cheat with it. That being said, any multitasking going on in game could be broken up into tasks done by multiple people, either to make a task easier or to be more efficient overall. So for example, one person changing prayers while the other one is fighting Jad's healers, or fletching for extra XP while someone's doing a quest, or in a competitive game mode, maximizing efficiency by instantly transferring who is playing on the account without logging out. The point is, it could be used to cheat in minor ways, but it would also probably end up just tripping people up, multiple people sending inputs to the same account. And the software is basically just a gag. While messing with this plugin, the developer found another application for the tech. Something kind of like video recording, but it requires a lot less storage, but is more interactive. Basically, a plugin could record what happens in game by logging all packet activities. Basically just logging all of the data of your play session. And then it could just replay the data back. It's not a video recording, think of it more as like a mechanical machine being put back through the cycle again. An hour of gameplay would be less than 10 megabytes, whereas an HD video recording would be over 1,000 times larger, more than 10 gigabytes. So while I was talking, you just saw me do a bunch of random stuff in game. Now watch the replay. Except like I hinted before, it's not just a replay. It's interactive. Just so there's no confusion, what you're seeing isn't a real session of me playing. It's a replay of the real session you just saw. I can't control anything that would be sent to the Runescape servers, i.e. I can't walk around or equip items or attack anything. But I can, for example, scroll through the bank, click on players nearby, check my stats, move the camera. So I could totally have this running in the background of my game sessions, and if I missed a bot username, I could replay the session and just click on the character I missed. Except I'd only need 50 or 100 megabytes of storage for a full day's replay. Crazy, right? So each time you log in, a unique session code would be generated, which eventually you'd be able to send to your friends, and they can enter it into this replay client and actually see what happened, but also semi-interact with what happened. So hopefully it'll be available for the general public soon. Just in case anyone is still confused, I can't control anything on the screen you're seeing right now, but I can operate the interfaces of the account whose session I'm replaying. For example, in the real session, I attacked an ogre, but I can't attack it in the replay, even though I can click on it. Let's see a few more side-by-sides of the real session versus the replay session, just to give you a better idea of what this looks like. And let me know in the comments if you think this is useful, useless, or at least interesting. And make sure to leave a like if you're enjoying the video so far. Let's go to the next up-and-coming project. Now, this next build for the community makes your experience in old school RuneScape more immersive, and eventually could spin into a whole new game mode. Take a look. This is the recently released 3D weather plugin, which provides a number of weather options like raining, storming, snowing, ashfall stars, and this one isn't publicly available right now, but here's a sneak peek, sandstorms. I had the pleasure to sit down with the creator of the plugin, who has even bigger plans for a survival mode built in combination with the weather plugin. Here's the interview.
You can call me Gnome. So the plugin I made is called 3D Weather. It essentially adds weather objects to your game. Tried to include some ambience as well, just to help with immersion. In general, there's different weather settings that you can choose, different weather types. So if you want it to snow, you can just select snow, or if you want it to rain, you can just select rain. Now that said, there are some additional features. Dynamic weather type, for example, will automatically cycle through different weather types. There's two different factors that go into it, season and biome. Biome is dependent on which chunk you're in. So if you're in a desert chunk, then it'll be a desert biome. And season is something that is purely used for controlling kind of how much precipitation or what kind of precipitation will appear. So if you're in, say, a grassland and it's winter, it's likely to be snow, there's not likely to be rain, you might get some fog. Whereas if you're, say, in a swamp biome, in the winter, you're going to have probably still quite a bit of rain, maybe a little bit of a mix of snow in there, but a desert biome in the winter is probably not going to have any precipitation at all.
And what about stars? What was the inspiration for stars?
Yeah, that was what I just kind of threw out there. I was like, you know what? I have the tools to create any object in the game that I want. I just want to do something a little bit out there. So actually, stars will only naturally play on dynamic cycles in like other planes, like Xanaris or the Killerwatt plane.
Oh, got it. So it's like the spooky, otherworldly one. What's your favorite like chunk or region in the game with a specific weather like combination?
Okay, so I think if you have 117 HD and you turn on winter theme and put on snow, you can be pretty much anywhere in it, and it's pretty gorgeous. Without that though, I would say storm in Mauritania. I think it's really cool. Just seeing the water droplets splash against the swamp, I think it looks fabulous. Going back to the dawn of time, probably earlier this year, I had this original idea of a survival mode, much less than taking away something from the game, like restricting you just to a certain area, a certain chunk, or anything like that. I wanted to add more features to the game. I started learning Java so that I could do some Runelite development. Let's try and add some features that you have to account for. Maybe let's make it so that different biomes have different challenges. If you go to mountainous biome, maybe you have to wear really warm clothing or else you'll freeze to death. If you're in the wilderness, maybe it's just really hot and dry 24/7. And so that also led me to this idea of, okay, well, can I change the weather?
You've just released the first version of the weather plugin. Are you going to release a survival plugin that kind of sits on top of the weather plugin for those who are interested?
That is the goal eventually. But right now, I have the survival plugin, season, weather, and biome all synced with the weather plugin. So while they're two separate entities, they work really well together.
So the survival plugin currently has hunger, thirst, and warmth levels that could be increased by obviously eating food, drinking water, or other liquids, and wearing warm clothing, and building and resting by fires. There's lots of directions this could go. Personally, I'd love to see like an overlay on top of hit points. So if your hunger hits 0, your overlaid hit points level would slowly go down unless you eat. If the plugin determines you died, the screen would go black or something like that. Just spitballing here, there's tons of potential in different directions GNOME could go in. The link to the 3D Weather plugin Discord is in the description if you want to check it out. It's also released on Runelite's plugin hub for you to download. Now, if you or anyone you know is doing something interesting in the RuneScape community, please reach out. I'd love to interview you. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.